Hi, this is High Templar with my Total War Warhammer mechanics video, and today we will talk about Master Engineer for Dwarves and more specifically about his skill called Balistic Expert. So there is lots of discussion in the community whether the Master Engineer for Dwarves is worth what you have to pay for him in multiplayer battles, and that is more than 900 gold. And I've made some videos before. You can check them out. It is testing his strength in just plain range combat without using any skills, and it seems that he is worth about 0.7 of what Thunderers are worth, and that is a bit more than 500 gold. And we need to squeeze some 400 gold more out of him, and the only way to do that is Balistic Expert. Now, Balistic Expert is a skill that is increasing accuracy by 20% and reload skill by 40%. It lasts for 40 seconds and has 90-second cooldown. That means the entire cycle of using it and then not using it and being able to use it again is 130 seconds, and this is how much this test is lasting for each group of units. So in each test I am firing at 2 units of Black Orcs and 2 units of Savage Orcs, with 2 units that do have Ballistic Experts, like those two, 1 Savage Orcs, 1 Black Orcs, and 2 units that doesn't have. I ran few of those tests with the help of Sudevil. I'm very thankful about that. So let's go back to the details. So obviously, because it increases accuracy, this will be it will depend differently from unit to unit. So I have here Crawlers, Thunderers, Gyrocopters, and Cannons. And they are targeting 2 different group of units, similar but not the same. The Black Orcs, which are bigger but have larger unit model, and Savage Orcs, big ones, that are slightly lower, slightly smaller, but there is 100 of them. I was expecting for the results with the height to be similar. Obviously, the larger the unit, the easier would be to hit, so the bonus will be from the accuracy will be lesser, and also the closer you are, it will be lesser because the unit will be hitting the enemy anyhow. So let's see the results here. Here are the Black Horse being attacked by Thunderers, those ones that has no boost, and those ones attacked by the unit that do have a boost from the Master Engineer. They are wavering already. The cycle is coming up to an end, so you will see that it stopped firing. But you won't see much from him. Obviously there is a difference in here, but not that great, it would seem. So let's see. And as you can see in Gyrocopters, there is very few units difference. So let's look at the hard data here. So like I said, I've done a few of those tests, gathered the results, and this is health of the unit when before the start of the test, when the skill stopped working, and at the end of the 130 second cycle when you could use the skill again. And during the skill, the DPS boost was about 30 few percent for the Black Orcs, but it would seem that for the Savage Orcs, at least against the Crawlers and the Thunderers, it was closer to 60%. And also, and I will explain why is that. This is actually quite simple, and while the boost to the DPS itself was not that great, the boost to the kill ratio was much greater. Because of the accuracy, during the skill, during the short time of 40 seconds where the skill was running, there was 3.2 more Savagers killed by the unit. So this is, and 2.25 for the Thunderers. Even with the Black Orcs, the difference is between 30% more damage to the health and 46 more kills. Why is that? Well, that's accuracy. The unit will be hitting more reliably, so there will be more kills. During by the end of the cycle, you would see that the boost to the units would be 20%, about 20% for the most, for the Black Orcs, for example. And that doesn't really make sense, because if the boost before was about 35%, why it should be about 12% by the end of the cycle, because skill lasts only 40% and there is a 90% break when the unit doesn't have a boost. So the 30% should drop down to 12 to 15% around, and it's more 20%. And this is very reliably 20% all the time. Why is that? Well, the most of the kills will happen during the first 40 seconds, because the enemy unit is more numerous at that time. So the accuracy and the reloading skill at that point of time will bring more kills, and those kills will be more reliable at that point of time. And later, when you have only few enemy units, like even 10 less or 20 less, and it goes down with each second, with each 10-second period of time until the cycle has ended, your units will kill less and less. That means that total boost for the most ranged units when attacking units like Black Orcs will be 20%. Now, there will be a lot more at the beginning of the cycle at the use of the skill for the Savage Orcs, because Savage Orcs drop more quickly. So most of the Savage Orcs will actually die during the first 40 seconds. You can see here that when I was using Master Engineer skill, only during the 40 seconds of the skill, the Savage Orcs dropped from 100 men to 52 men, and they lost, well, like 2/3 of their health. There is only 1/3 of the health of the unit still in this unit. So that's very bad. And with each second there will be less and less orcs there, obviously. So it seems that for the most units you can reliably take at least 20% more damage. And I'm saying at least because if you use it correctly, if you make the units position very well, and you will take a lot more kills during this first 40 seconds, like here. Because even positioning the unit on the flank, for example, will boost that ratio quite a lot. Obviously not when attacking Black Orcs or any Greatsword unit, but even if you put it closely, it will kill more because of the reload skill. So there's that. At least 20% more, so you need to bring, to get that 400 gold, you need to bring about 2000 worth of range units that will be inside the area of 45 meters around the Master Engineer. That seems a bit steep. Yes, I do realize that. But you might use this boost at the very beginning because you could see that I was able to make those Savage Orcs route, for example, here. And the difference between 15 kills and 48 kills for those quarrelers is a huge difference, and you can use it in a battle. 2000 worth of range units is, say, yeah, I do realize that you would have to bring like 4 quarrelers, but you only need to bring like 3 thunderers to make it worth. The strange thing is happening here because when it comes to the gyrocopters, you don't seem to get such a huge boost against the Savage Orcs. That is mostly because of the area of effect. And also, the strange thing comes with the cannons. I ran a few tests with the cannons, and it would seem that for the close range, the data is unreliable. The positioning of the cannons will bring more kills than the Master Engineer skill itself. From the close range, most of the time your enemy will advance if you have artillery, and will shorten. You won't be able to fire with your Master Engineer skill because it has to reload, the skill has to reload. So you won't be able to fire that. What about, there is a very specific, so there is very small increase with the cannons, and normally people would bring Master Engineer for a cannons, but it's actually not happening. So let's see what will happen if I do bring my cannons and try to attack the enemy at longest range to get most of that plus 20% accuracy. Cannons are pretty accurate at the beginning. So let's try to hit that giants and see what will happen. You can see that this test will take a little bit, but the cannons at max range or the are hitting. It's already stopped right now, so the Master Engineer skill is finished at this point. You can see that the unit that was attacked by the Master Engineer 2 cannons lost 2,400 health, whereas this one lost 1,400. So that is 75% more damage at maximum range. This is how much accuracy is worth here. Unfortunately, when it comes to the Master Engineer himself, if I boost him and try to use him against this Goblin Shaman, the unit is very, very, very small. So he would miss this Goblin Shaman. This Goblin Shaman was running away. My Master Engineer had a boost, and he would still miss him. So for the Master Engineer himself, it's not very reliable tool. You would have to hit something a little bit bigger. Also with the cannons, at a shorter range, smaller enemy, this 20% boost might bring you a lot more than 30% damage, maybe even 75%, like with those giants we've seen so far. So there is certainly a place for the Master Engineer in the Dwarf army. You can use him, you can boost those damage, you can use him as a range unit himself, but he will still be debatable. It will still be debatable if he's worth it. It will depend on your enemy army composition, how much you can kill during this first 40 seconds. That will be the most, how much time you will have to use him, to reuse him, and basically also the distance from the enemy, it all will play a role. But in you could I think you can safely bet that if you can keep 2000 gold worth of units close by to the master engineer, and those guys will be either gyrocopters, thunderers, on-crawlers. You can, or the brimstone guns. I do believe brimstone guns in our tests brought even more than 30% boost during the skill. It will be worth to bring him. It will be worth to bring him into the battlefield. So that's it. I hope you like it. If you did, press like. If you want to comment, please leave a comment. And I also would like to recommend my other mechanics video and my let's plays. Thank you for watching. See you later.